The Wellness Show, Episode 30.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. So welcome to the show. I'm quite excited to have Stephanie Lafazanos. Did we get that? Lafazanos. Lafazanos. There you are. It's a nice Greek name. I'm trying to get it right, but obviously I didn't, but I got the gestures right. At least we got part of it right. She's a Qigong instructor, and one of her passions is to bring all the various types of Qigong together, possibly on a membership site, because Qigong can be used very many ways to energize you and help you start your day and be more present in each moment. Also, she's a medical intuitive, and so we're going to learn about what does it mean to be a medical intuitive and what does it mean to have a session with Stephanie. So without further ado, welcome Stephanie to the show. Sorry about your name, although I did get the passion right, which is always probably the most important part.
Thanks, Tyson. I'm happy to be here. And it's okay about the name. I've been living with that for 42 years.
So do it in the correct, passionate way.
Okay, so my name is Stephanie Lafazanos. That's like how the Greek would say it.
Wow, I love
Lafazano.
Lafazanos. I like that. That's got passion. It's got energy, just like Qigong. Like it's like, how can you not show up with a name like that? You have to be present, right? You have to like.
Oh yeah.
And you have to probably correct people and help them understand just what it means to have passion in your name like that too. It reminds me of Zorba the Greek, like get out there and be, and like sing your song, be present.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely see that characteristic in my father. So, and then the other side of my family is kind of like Irish Canadian. So there's a lot of passion on that side too.
Storytelling,
singing, poetry, those kinds of things.
Yes. Well, what an interesting mix. So tell me how this all comes together in your Qigong practice.
Oh, wow. I can't say how much gratitude I have for finding the practice of Qigong. I feel like it saved my life. It saved me. It gave me something to do every day that was very meditative. But because I'm a very physical person, I love dance. I studied kinesiology at university. So I was always trying to learn about the connection between the body and the mind. And this whole practice of Qigong kind of kept coming into my life. It kept showing up over and over and over again, specifically Taoist Qigong practices. But as soon as I started doing the movements, I was like, whoa, oh my gosh, I feel the energy. Oh, wow, there's energy between my hands. And of course, I didn't learn any of that in university. So I was mesmerized. I was completely enchanted by the movements and the sentiment of this very present, meditative breath work and movement. So yeah, I've been practicing for, I think maybe about 15 years now.
Wow.
And I've learned there's so many different types of Qigong you have to, remember that Qigong is over 2,000 years old. So, and it's been carried on through families and people in China. So there's like lineages of studying it. And then each lineage would spiral out into its own form. And that's been happening for 2,000 years. So it's a very, very ancient practice like yoga. But it's really helpful for me. When I first started doing Qigong, I was just starting to be really aware of how intuitive I was. In fact, I was very, very empathic. Yeah. So all of the different intuitive faculties like the the empathic or clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, all of these things really started to open up for me. And so you have to imagine when you're starting to be able to sense and perceive. I wasn't myself.
So could you just back up a bit?
Grounded.
You froze there for a minute. So you were talking about the 5 clairs. So can you back up and bring that up again?
Sure. So around the time that I really started to get into Qigong, I was also really expanding in all of my sort of extrasensory perceptions, audience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. So I was really able to feel what was going on in all the people around me, as you might have a similar experience. I talk to people these days who are like, wow, I'm really sensitive and I pick up on what other people are feeling. So I went through this whole process of being able to feel so much of what was going on in other people. But the issue is I wasn't really fully grounded in myself, in my own physical, energetic body. And then along with that comes with also needing to learn about boundaries and all that kind of thing. So Qigong was my go-to practice that really helped me to bring my energy into my body. So getting grounded and really connected with the earth and sort of more energy aware. And along with that energy awareness, boundaries and other kinds of things started to improve over time. But the thing about Qigong is that it helps you to kind of move your energy through your body and to smooth out any energetic blockages that you have. So some of the reasons I wasn't well grounded, I believe, and many people have, is a lot of people have, and I had an inability to really feel my emotions. There's not a lot of education around this in school.
Okay.
So as I was starting to clear more of those emotional blocks, and that kind of sped my healing process. And it really contributed a lot to my own personal growth, but also my growth as a healer, because I was the person I was experimenting on with all of this Qigong. So healing around the heart, healing around all kinds of different emotional blocks. And I realized actually how much energy it takes to repress your emotions. It takes so much energy to hold those things down or squish them down. So
I'm just going to interrupt for a sec there, because you said so many things that I just want you to do a short review.
Sure.
I think what the most important message that I think that you said so far is really being an intuitive and having those gifts, that it gets overwhelming, that you get off center, and learning how to ground and be fully present in your heart and in your body takes effort. And this is what Qigong provides you, is that opportunity to be fully embodied so you can process your emotions, because otherwise you're overwhelmed with everything that's happening in your life. I think that's what I heard you say. I'm just trying to encapsulate it, because it is so powerful what you've learned how to do. And it really is encouraging for others that are intuitives and psychic that this is a way to help balance out those energies. Did I get it right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's correct. And I see so many people actually waking up to their intuitive abilities. It's sort of happening like popcorn, like you get like one little pop here and then one little pop here, and then all of a sudden, all the popcorn is going. And I kind of feel like that's happening just in the people that I talk to on a daily basis. Lots of women that I talk to, and even men that I talk to, are expressing like, yeah, I'm really sensitive and I can feel what other people are feeling. And I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I went through that 15 years ago. And so it's really, really worthwhile to understand how your whole body mind works. And I really like how Qigong, is based on Chinese medicine, or even further back Chinese shamanism, how all of the knowledge of those systems connect in the mind, emotional, and physical aspects of the being. So you can learn how to balance and harmonize everything, like balancing the emotions and harmonizing all of the energy. So there's lots of meditations as well, for helping people to move their own blocks. I think one of the most important points that you kind of like touched on, that I was sort of talking about, was that to be able to see other people really clearly, you also have to do a lot of clearing work on yourself to have a clear lens. You know what I mean? It's an absolute gift and an absolute honor to be able to see another person's soul. And I feel like that's essentially what I'm doing when I do a medical intuitive assessment. I'm seeing the things that they're learning in this lifetime, how it's manifesting in illness and disease, how it's manifesting in emotional stuff, mental stuff. And it's a real honor to be able to see that. And then, so the more I practice Qigong and do these practices, the clearer I am, and the clearer I'm able to see other people, because, their stuff doesn't get in the way. My stuff doesn't get in the way.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you, but I was curious, how did you become a medical intuitive? I mean, it seems you came to Qigong because you were overwhelmed and you needed to learn how to process your emotions and get into your body. And so how did you make the switch then to being able to be comfortable in your body, to be a medical intuitive and not get caught up in the drama of somebody else?
Yeah, so it just kind of started happening naturally. So while I was practicing Qigong, at the moment I started practicing Qigong, I was doing a lot of outdoor guiding and outdoor adventure kind of work, and that was very seasonal. So I had it in the back of my mind, oh, you know what, that Thai massage that I studied in Thailand was really amazing practice. So you can do it all year round. So I went back to study Thai massage, and then I started working one-on-one with people doing massage work. And all the while I was studying all this energy medicine stuff and Qigong. But as I started to work with people in Thai massage one-on-one, I really started to tap into what stuff was, what energy blocks were in different parts of their body as I was working with their physical body. And so it just kept happening over and over again. And so I would say, hey, I'm picking up some intuitive information about your shoulder. Would you like me to share that with you? And everybody's always so interested in learning about themselves. So of course, everybody says yes. And so I would share with them about what I was picking up, and they could see, it was as if I could see right into their being, into their lives, into their mind, into their hearts. And so I would constantly be getting this feedback that was like confirmation, like, yeah, you're totally seeing what's going on with me. So I was like, this is a really good skill to help people with. But like, how do you, I needed to put a structure to it. Like, how do you structure intuition? Mm-hmm. So I guess I was asking the question, and the universe brought the answer to me. I was speaking with an astrologer, Michael O'Connor. You might know him. He's from Nelson. And he said, I think you would make a really great medical intuitive. And I thought, oh my God, I would love to do that. I'm kind of like already doing that. He's like, yeah, no, that's a perfect profession for you. Less than a week later, I opened up the Common Ground magazine in Vancouver, and I saw an advertisement for the College of Medical Intuition. So I called Dr. Marilyn Parkin from the College of Medical Intuition, and we had our interview over the phone. And while we were having the interview, I felt like this whoosh. It was like a whoosh. That's all I can describe it as. It's just like energy, like whoosh. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty powerful feeling. So yeah, I was in the college, and there you go. I was in the program for 2 years, and then I did my teacher training as well.
Well, that's exciting. So So how long have you been in medical, now, quote
Sort
unquote,
of,
medical intuitive? I mean, you've always been that way, but officially.
officially, I graduated in 2008.
Oh, wow. You've been doing it for a while then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that I've only had that experience once in working on somebody's body and actually being like you, being able to know exactly what the energy block was, how old they were, what the incident was. It really is quite amazing. I was astounded because I had no idea where that information came from, but it was literally left in the muscles and in the tissue. It was ready to come out. It was really quite exciting. So you're in a very interesting field. So now you don't necessarily touch people's bodies to have this. You can do it at a distance. You just intuitively read their field, I guess, and have the intuition that way.
Yeah, when we first started at the College of Medical Intuition, we were given a person's name and their birth date. And then we had to go home and when the college started, we were scanning with our left hand. We're scanning through the energy field. And, the method has changed there. They don't even do like physical scanning with the hand to feel the energy. They just go, and information just comes, it's like pops into your head. So I've watched the progression because I've been connected to the College of Medical Intuition through teacher training. But yeah, it was really freaky the first time I did a medical intuitive assessment on someone I had never met, who wasn't there present with me. So here I was going through the energy field and like, I would feel the blocks and you'd be like, oh my gosh, like I'm feeling a block around their knee. And then I'm going through and I'm feeling blocks in different parts of their body. So I'm writing it all down. And then I'm getting all the information about what the information about the blocks is. And after I was done, that was my first one. After I was done, I was like, okay, you can go now. It was kind of freaky just to be able to feel a person's energy is like right there with you. So yeah, I've done medical intuitive assessments for people in the United States and New York, people in Yukon territory, and like all sort of different places around the world. And I just need their permission and need their name so I know I'm doing the right person, and I get their birthday. That's just, in case there's two people with the same name. But our intention is so powerful. When we intend to connect to somebody who is asking for help, we can just get that information. We're connecting to what is called the collective consciousness.
Are you using a picture? Do you use a picture as well?
No.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, we use a picture when I do people's divine gifts and their birthday and their name. And for an exorcism of possession, we sometimes, want hair samples, but I don't need any of that stuff anymore. Although I do like a picture, it just gives me a sense of who I'm communicating with. But yeah, isn't it amazing? Right. We all have this gift to tap into each other's fields if we allow each other to have permission to do that, and we can really help people come into their truth. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, like for example, like permission is an important thing. I feel, asking a person permission. It's kind of like looking in their closet. You don't want to look in somebody's closet, without asking their permission first. So it's like, do you want me to look into your soul, deep into your soul? But I find it does happen, if I'm talking to somebody and they are talking about someone else, so they're discussing maybe their relationship or something like that. As they're talking about this other person, I start to tune into that person. It just happens. I have a natural curiosity. I'm really interested in how people operate and what's going on inside of people. And I believe that, I also come from a place of compassion and having compassion for people wherever they're at. I have to have compassion for myself. I have to have compassion for you. And I think there's a natural curiosity as to, well, what's going on there? What's causing that sort of thing to happen? And so as someone is talking about someone else, I actually start to tap in to that person and I get information without really consciously trying.
What got you into trouble? I mean, I used to get into trouble when I was young because I thought people actually wanted to know what I was tuning into. And so I'd go blah, 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 right? And then find myself in a lot of trouble because they didn't ask and therefore they didn't want to know. So I had to really learn the hard way that, that just because I knew what was going on with people didn't mean that I needed to talk about it or they even wanted me to talk about. So that was a big lesson for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I think it's an ethical thing, and that's something that we learned a lot about the College of Medical Intuition, because we write medical intuitive reports that have to be shared with doctors, chiropractors, surgeons, they have to be professional reports. So we have to use professional language that can be recognized by Western medicine. A lot of, I'm sensing there may be blah, 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 and part of the ethics is absolutely, it's permission. So maybe I'm not as Gabby as you are. I don't know. But I have never been the person to walk up to a stranger and be like, but I have seen things around people. I was on an airplane once and I was watching the airline hostess. I could tell she was really, really unhappy. And, but I'm not going to just walk up to her and be like, have you thought about what other careers that you might want to go into, Because I've had to.
Mine wasn't quite as bad as that. It was like a girlfriend. And I just say, hey, did you know blah, 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 and got myself. Well, that was the end of the relationship anyway. So that was my learning lesson. So. Well,
that's a little bit more of a closer relationship. So hopefully she kind of knew that you were intuitive and that you could offer that. I think with my friends often like that I share that stuff with them.
Oh, okay.
And they also share with me. I believe everybody's really intuitive. So my friends also share lots of intuitive. And I think a lot of people are a lot more intuitive than they really realize.
Oh, I think
a large part of my job is helping people to realize that they are actually getting the same messages from their own being and their own body. And I have to kind of point it out to them.
So do you help people actually learn how to do that? Like, have you ever thought of doing an online course, or do you actually do consultations to help people learn about their intuitive gifts, how to turn them on, how to manage them, how to stay in their truth and be empowered?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually doing that whenever I'm working, all the time when I'm working. So, I do massage, I do energy work. I'm kind of trained in shamanic energy work. I've been trained by body psychotherapists. I really like the body psychotherapy practice. And so I'm constantly helping people to become more aware in sessions. And then, of course, through Qigong classes. And I'm starting to create a lot of online programs right now as well. So I have some online Qigong programs that are more specifically for women, because one of my passions is helping women connect all aspects of their being, their sexuality, their heart, their spirit. So some of the amazing things I've learned from the Taoist Qigong practices are really, really great for helping women really connect to all aspects of themselves. And so I'm getting really excited about online courses, and anybody who joins my mailing list, like if you're on my mailing list right now, you would have just gotten an email about I'm teaching people how to store their energy, so teaching some Qigong, but then also doing a clearing of any slave mentality, so any unconscious beliefs that stop you from spending time nurturing yourself. So people who feel like they don't have any time for themselves, they don't have any energy for themselves, we're doing some sort of unconscious clearing. And so little courses like how to become more intuitive are in the back of my mind. So I've got lots to share personally, in person, in workshop, in class format, and also online. So a lot of that stuff is coming down the tubes.
Well, I know your passion is working with women. So, what are the sort of like the 5 most important things that you want to communicate with women, particularly at this time of transition that we're going through as we shift from, dominant patriarchal into hopefully something more compassion, where we have a balance between, both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So what are the, 5 most important things, or 3, that you want women to understand about this transition and how you help them get there?
Yeah, so I've made like a bunch of different YouTube video series about this on my YouTube channel. The first one was called Wild Woman Reclaimed, and I talked about the 7 feminine powers. So I think the first thing is helping women just understand what their feminine powers are. So even just breaking it down to look at what are yang or masculine qualities and traits, what are yin or feminine qualities and traits. So when we start to realize that we need a balance of these 2 things in our life, for example, a really big one for most people is the yin or feminine quality of rest. And then there's the yang or masculine quality of being active. And I think a lot of people really need to work on balancing that work and go, and also really taking time to rest and listen to their body.
Your intuition.
I think another huge thing is, I just said it, at listening. So it, again, in the conversation, there's a person who's talking and a person who's listening. The talking person is the more masculine, and the listening person is the more feminine. So really tuning into the inside of yourself and listening to your body and taking some quiet time to listen is really important, because we really do have all of the information that we need inside of us. And I think a lot of people go outside of themselves to try to get information. So actually, the more healing work that I've done and the more studying I've done in this area, and I've done a lot of studying in this area, is you want the information, you're going to go out there and get all the information. But actually, what you end up learning is it's all in here. And you just learn how to access it and channel it and feel it and hear it and listen to it. So I think that's another major thing for women.
Can you put that into yin and yang for us? I mean, into the feminine and the masculine. I mean, isn't that sort of going outside and wanting to gather all the information, put it into a logical construct and make sense out of it? Isn't that very masculine? Isn't that the desire to know outside of ourselves? And it's feminine to be still and to be silent and to be in the flow of it all and wait to be guided. And who have to coexist, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. I love the way you put that. So tuning into yourself. And then I think women also, like, all you have to do is turn the television on and look at how well we've been, I guess, coming out of patriarchy. We're coming out of this sort of very long period of time where women's gifts were not really recognized and honored. Even just the women's physical body and worth and purpose and all of that were not really honored as they should be, equally, to men, because we can't have one without the other. We need both masculine and feminine. So really loving ourselves. And I think starting with really loving and honoring the physical body, because the physical body is that very earthy aspect of our femininity. So loving your body, no matter what it looks like, feeding yourself good food, exercising, doing things that are really good for your physical body, and nurturing your physical body. So I'm in the middle of a 100-day challenge right now. So I wake up every morning and I kind of put one hand on my heart and one hand on my belly, and I'm like, what does my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit, what does my being need today? And then I give myself that as a practice. So sometimes it's Qigong, sometimes it's walking in nature, sometimes it's giving myself a massage, sometimes it's dancing alone in my living room. But whatever it is, I'm giving it to myself. And that's kind of like one of the main things that I'm trying to also encourage other women to do, is to make the time to really nurture and give to themselves and love their being, their physical body. But you'll get so much out of it. Absolutely. So much energy out of it. I've been doing this kind of 100-day challenge. I started in, I think it was February. And when you really listen and rest and nourish your energy in the wintertime, you replenish. Wintertime is about replenishing. So the springtime, if you've done this, you should be bursting with energy. And I can't tell you how much energy I'm bursting with this springtime. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm bursting with a lot of energy. So
that's great.
Yes.
I'm on the same path as you. I'm in the midst of building a downloadable app for a 21-day take back your personal power, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. So it's just a clearing protocol, so that you have it with you every single day. But I love what you're saying, and it's what I'm learning to do is, what does my body want me to do right now or today? And the next one that I'm learning how to do is also, what does my business want me to do or not do today? Which is one I've never thought of before. Mm-hmm. So rather than just getting stuck in my masking and do.
Yeah, I've started doing the same thing too. I'm like, okay, so I mean, when you are connected to your intuition, you can ask any question. I've learned it I've used my intuition to find jobs, and things like that, or even lost or missing people, Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. What aspect of my business needs attention today? I've also done the same thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like moving from the work to the play. The masculine is, we have to work hard in order to succeed, blah, blah, blah. And the feminine is, let go of all that. Just be in the divine flow and you'll be at the right place at the right time. Then the masculine says, no, I have to do. So coming to some sort of, quietude around all that, either through meditation or like you, just go do some Qigong, like process the motions through your body. So how long is your practice in the morning?
It depends. I can practice for 2 hours if I really get into it. And I absolutely love giving to myself. In fact, my higher self has communicated to me, if you get up at 7, you can do your own practice from 7 to 9. And really, and the message for me from my higher self was, don't skimp on yourself. Because when you're really giving to yourself, and I mean, not everybody has to practice for 2 hours, but you have to keep in mind, this is a part of what I do for a living. So it's kind of part of it's part of my day.
Yes.
Other people who do other things for a living, they might spend, 20 minutes or an hour, but when I practice for an hour or 2 hours, and that's the message I'm getting, I think I'm also sending a really big signal to myself that I am really worth it. And I think that's a message that I personally really needed for myself. And I think this worthiness thing is something that a lot of women have. I think it's in our collective consciousness as women, that we're not worthy or something. So, I mean, a typical yoga practice is an hour, right?
Right.
But it doesn't have to be. It can be 10 minutes of meditation, really. Well, it depends on who you are, what your lifestyle is like. I don't have any children, so, I've got some freedom.
So we're getting near the end of the show, and I love this conversation and balancing the yin and the yang, the intellect and intuition, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. For both of us, male and female, this is really the new work, is creating this balance in our lives. So we're close to the end of the time together. And so how do people get hold of you? How do they get to work with you?
Right. So I have 2 websites. So the first website is intuneholistics.com. And that's the website where you can have a medical intuitive assessment. You can learn all about my healing services that I do in person. And I also have a couple Qigong programs on there. So you can study to be a Universal Healing Tao instructor, because I'm a Universal Healing Tao instructor, or you can do a 10-week Qigong program. That includes a medical intuitive assessment and 10 weeks of Qigong that I designed specifically for you. So that's a good place to start. And then the other website that I have is specifically for women. So now when I want to give information to women, it's kind of like, it's more specialized. You know, we're doing practices like ancient Tao practices using the jade egg inside the woman's yoni, or sacred space. So that's a very targeted market. So that website is wildlywoman.com. So that's all information specifically about bringing out the divine feminine, and online course called The Wildly Nurtured Woman.
Just to comment on that, studying with a Mayan shaman, that's definitely part of their practice as well, is with a jade, particularly jade, doing that to clean and clear the energies. So yeah, it has a long lineage, not only in the Chinese Tao culture, but also through the Mayan culture as well. So it's interesting. And now it's time to bring those things forward, right?
And I was just going to say, people can connect with me on Facebook as well. I'm Stephanie Lafazanos, certified medical intuitive. I also have a Wild Woman's Wisdom Circle. Wild Woman's Wisdom Circle. It's a community Facebook page. And I post a lot of things there, as well as on Instagram and on Twitter. And so I'll have all my contacts on my websites and YouTube, my YouTube channel as well. I have a lot of videos there.
So spell out your website one more time. And also you can come to the www.theWellnessShow.ca and get all the information as well. And it'll be in the notes for this show. But one more time.
Okay, so intuneholistics.com is like my guitar is in tune. Yeah. So INTUNE, and holistics, HOLISTICS.
Great.
And then Wildly Woman. So you're a wild woman, but Wild Woman was already taken. So I had Wildly Woman.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I'm very excited to know more about what you're doing. I love the balance between energy and the creativity of Qigong, and bringing that energy through, and then how you use it as a medical intuitive, and with your work with the divine feminine is, to me, very exciting and passionate work. It allows us to get in tune with the mother of all mothers, which is, of course, Gaia, Mother Earth. So that is the ability to ground and be present in our body and be connected from spirit through to earth, to the Earth Mother. And thank you for doing the work that you're called to do. I love it. So thanks for coming on the show, and I hope people get hold of you and join you on the path to fully being present in the now.
Thanks, Tyson. This is a pleasure.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, theWellnessStore.ca. and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.